So now that we got our cat to walk across the screen using our keyboard left and right buttons, let's make a little game of this. To begin with, we'll add a new sprite to our screen. And to add a new sprite, we go to the new sprite button, which is this one, this tiny little man standing there. And we click it. And when you click it, you'll see a whole lot of sprites open up in our sprite library. Now, if you look on the left, you've got the different categories of sprites and themes, etc. So I've got it set on, selected on all, and I'm happy with that. This is going to show all the sprites that are in all the libraries. So I'm going to pick the beach ball sprite, click on it, and click on OK. Once the sprite is on the screen, we'll reposition it to the right of the screen at about the same height as our cat. Now let's add some coding for the sprite. And what we're going to do is, in our game, the cat will move towards the sprite, towards the ball, and when the cat reaches the ball disappears, and the game says to the user, you win. Alright, so let's do this. As we can see now, when the cat touches the ball, the cat simply walks behind the ball. Now this is because we haven't added any code, any scripts for the ball itself. Alright, so now making sure that we have the ball sprite selected down in the sprites box, we're going to start adding some code for it. Alright, we start off with the events tab. We drag across when green flag clicked. And then we go to looks. And then we drag this one across, show. Now you'll see what show means a little later, but very quickly it means that if a sprite is hidden, then show it. So you might ask, how does a sprite get hidden? We're gonna see that shortly. Okay, then we go to control and we put in the forever. Now the game is going to work like this. When the ball and the cat are touching each other, then something must happen. And what must happen is that the ball disappears. Now, in a game, in any video game, when you have a scenario where if two items are touching, then something happens, this is known as collision detection. So when there is a collision between these two items, then something will happen. Now, if you are playing a video game, any sort of video game, you'll notice that there is collision detection in almost every video game. It's just that it's in different formats. For example, if you got a shoot 'em up game where a spaceship is shooting alien crafts, then a spaceship, when you press the fire button, the spaceship releases a torpedo or a bullet, and that bullet floats towards the enemy craft. And when it hits the enemy craft, then the enemy craft disappears. So that point where the bullet of the player spaceship hits the enemy craft, that's known as collision detection. So the game detects that the bullet has touched the enemy craft and the enemy craft explodes. In the same way, if the enemy shoots a bullet and it hits the player spaceship and the player spaceship explodes, then this is also collision detection. Alright, so we're going to say when green flag clicked, show, and then forever, if cat is touching ball, then do something. Alright, so the touching pieces we'll find in the sensing tab. So we click on the sensing tab and we select this piece, touching. Alright, that's the one we're going to use. But if we move it across, we see there's actually no place that we can actually place it. So what's missing? The thing that's missing is the if. So back to control, and we drag across if and drop it in between. Now it's starting to make sense. Forever, if, and the touching piece goes in there. Back to sensing. If touching what? If the ball is touching the cat. Now the cat is called sprite 1 and the ball is called beach ball. We need to know that. Okay, so when touching sprite 1, then what happens? The ball disappears. So let's go to looks. And we are obviously going to select hide. There we go. This looks about right. Let's test it. So we stop our code and run it. And very good. Our cat moves towards the ball. The cat touches the ball disappears. Okay, let's try that again. Restart our game, and when we restart our game, you see the ball reappears. Now this is what this show piece does. It reappears, it makes the ball reappear after it's been hidden. So again, cat goes, cat touches ball disappears. You win. Now, let's save our work. And it's always a good habit to save your work. It is very, very easy to lose your work if you forget to save it. So we go to File, Save As, and we're going to call this one Cat and Ball Game. Click on Save, and our work is saved.
Thank you for watching this lesson. If you're interested in doing more awesome courses like this one, check out our website. Link is in the description below.